Going back on the record, the time is 1:47 p.m.
So I'm going to mark 2 exhibits. Exhibit number 83 is the video Bates number 005772, and I'm just marking the cover sheet for a placeholder for the record.
Thank you.
And I'm marking as exhibit number 84 LLR-WA 0001521. Jordan, how often did you partake in Train the Trainers webinars?
Whenever I was asked to.
Did Train the Trainers webinars happen on a weekly basis?
Yes.
Do you recall around when you first started to be asked to partake in the Train the Trainers webinars?
No.
Was it when you joined the Leadership and Culture Development team?
Unclear.
Who asked you to partake in the Train the Trainers webinars?
That's unclear.
Would it have been Kenny?
Could have been. Like, I've answered this a little bit different ways. So, but it depends on the week, who's there, what the topic is, and who's training.
Did you do Train the Trainers calls regularly?
I was asked to regularly, yes.
And typically, as part of the trainers calls that you did you broadcast them on Zoom?
Yes.
Did you ever broadcast them via a different conferencing method?
I don't recall.
And when you did the Train the Trainers call, would you send out a link to the call to trainers ahead of time?
The link remained the same, so I don't know whether we sent it out to them ahead of time regularly.
And Train the Trainers, you mentioned earlier that Train the Trainers calls were done on a weekly basis. Were they typically done on Wednesdays?
I don't remember which day.
Do you remember?
We have a lot of webinars. When was this held? On a Wednesday? That's not unlikely. That would have changed. So, Wednesdays.
Were they typically held at the same time and same day each week?
Yes.
So take a look at Exhibit 84. Did you receive this email while you were at LuLaRoe?
Yes.
And it appears from the email that Kelly Froth is sending you, in her words, transcripts from today's webinar. Is that right?
That's what it looks like. We're going to need to go off record because this is not going to stay. Hold on. Got it. I got it. We're good.
Just don't breathe.
Please repeat the question.
And it appears from the email that Kelly Froth is sending you, in her words, transcripts from today's webinar. Is that right?
Yes.
In looking at the transcript, which ends in the number 15282, it appears that there are two IFRs that were helping you with this presentation. Shannon Goyne, is that how you pronounce it? And Ashley Lataha?
Yes. That's not how their names are spelled, but yes.
How are their names spelled?
I don't know how you spell Shannon Gwynn's name, because it's very confusing, but Ashley Lataha is correct.
Okay. Can you take a look at your screen, which is Exhibit 83? Who is this individual?
Shannon Gwynn?
Is she a mentor?
Yes.
And who is this individual?
Ashley Lataha?
And she's a mentor, right?
Yes. Was this in 2017?
Oh, I'm just asking if she's ever been a mentor.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to play you a video starting at the minute 127. Is this you?
Yes.
Play.
For you, 320 trainers on here. So with that, I want to start with introductions. We'll start with Shannon and then on to Ashley. Shannon, tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been in the business, and maybe your why statements?
In your opinion, that's not a why statement.
In my definition from Simon Sinek's book, that's not a why statement, but whether that's her why, for me to judge whether that's her why is not, it's not my place to judge her.
Did you call any discussions with any other employees at home office about what should or shouldn't be said by retailers on calls?
Yeah, I think I answered that earlier with income claims and lifestyle claims.
Had you had that discussion prior to this video occurring?
I don't know.
If you had had that discussion prior to this video occurring, would you have spoken with Shannon after the call?
I don't know. It all honestly depends on context and the day.
Yeah, I mean, based on this context, seeing
Sure.
this today, what would you do?
She's a mentor. They're both mentors, right? They prepared the training themselves based off of a topic that they felt that the field should hear. When was this? It was 2017. I'm not mentoring mentors at this point, so I wouldn't have said anything.
Who was mentoring mentors at this point?
It varied. It could have been a number of people. It could have been Kenny. It could have been Art. It could have been, yeah, it could have been one of those two.
So even though you were facilitating the Train the Trainers calls and interfacing with mentors, you wouldn't have necessarily had the responsibility at this time to mentor a mentor.
No.
So I'm going to play a clip starting at the minute 12:15.
And what page is that on? Do you know?
Give me a second. Let me play it and then I'll try to find the spot for you.
Few questions. I'm going to ask to close the Q&A. Please don't submit any more Q&A for now until I open it. Until I say open, then you can ask some more. So we have 45.
I paused at 12:26. You just mentioned that you closed the Q&A. Were Q&As a typical part of the Train the Trainers webinars?
Yes.
How did you run those?
They came up on the screen. They were very invasive, and the person who was running the webinar.
So it was a feature that was offered through the Zoom platform?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so if you were asking what page, the page ending in 15286.
So close. That was close. Okay.
And do you see where it says Jordan Brady?
Yes.
It says, I will ask to close the Q&A. And we just saw that clip in the video.
Yes.
I'm going to continue. Starting the clip at 12 minutes and 26 seconds. And because you were concerned that retailers were focusing on the wrong things?
I think that focusing on the wrong things. What do you mean by the wrong things?
Well, focusing on something that you thought shouldn't be their focus.
Like, what would that be?
Well, I'm trying to get it
Yeah,
inside your head.
I'm not, yeah, the answer is I don't know. I don't know why I would have made that statement. So I'm not confused by the statement, but it's very clear why I said that. There might have been multiple questions asking certain things. It's out of context of the day and time and what would have happened days before to have me feel that way. So I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to continue at 12:57.
Because you want to go on your team for the reason boosting, you want to be focusing on sales first, then growing your team. So but we can answer that question. What's the best way to make?
I stopped at 13:08. So does your answer clarify or refresh your recollection as to why you might have given that caution message?
You want to focus on your sales first, then grow your team?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's still a standard understanding of the way I would coach someone today, which is you want to grow your own business, you want to grow yourself, you want to grow your personal goals, you want to learn your things and become understanding, and then grow the team. Right? That's the advice that I would give.
And it sounds like this was the advice you also gave in January 2017. Is that right?
When it was with what?
With regards to what we were just speaking about.
Yeah, that's yes.
Okay. So were there specific things that were happening in the field that raised these concerns for you?
Object to the form. Misstates.
I don't. It's out of context. Remembering that far back, I don't know what would have caused those concerns to be raised.
Do you recall at this time that there was a Q Club?
Not an association in my brain, but yes, there was a Q Club, and we've looked at previous evidence that indicates that time there was a Q Club.
Have you ever heard instances of IFRs growing their teams in order to achieve higher bonus checks?
Yeah, I have.
Who did you hear that specifically from?
I don't know who specifically would have done that.
Was it pretty common?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did it happen? Did you hear about it more than once?
I can't be specific.
Did it concern you?
Well, the one that I heard of, yeah.
Which one are you thinking
I don't know her name.
of? What did she do?
I don't know specific. All I know is she was recruiting for the wrong reasons, and we asked her to kindly leave. I
When
don't
you
know.
say for
I
the-
don't know what the wrong reasons are. That's in passing. That's what I heard.
Were you aware that some recruiters, are you aware that some leaders paid other IFRs to help them recruit?
Check to the form.
Say that again.
Are you aware of any instances where a IFR paid another IFR in order to recruit?
No. That makes me frustrated
Why?
because you don't pay other. That's like. Well, that's not how this whole thing works. This whole thing works on talking to people about the business, and how it can bless their life, and how it's multifaceted. It's not about the money. Like, why? Yeah. Are you saying that a retailer paid another retailer to come on?
Oh, I'm asking you if you learned that that had happened, or if you were ever aware of instances of that happening.
No.
Okay. And it sounds like if you had been aware, you would have been really concerned.
Sure.
Do you think that behavior aligns with LuLaRoe's culture?
Explain to me how that works again. You're saying that a retailer paid another retailer to join, or paid another retailer to recruit for her?
The latter.
That's a weird thing to do. It's not that it doesn't align. That's a weird thing. I've never heard of that.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to continue the clip
Sure.
at 13:08.
You're downline to grow their team.
So what Shannon just said, does that accurately reflect how you understood growing a team should work?
Object is overbroad.
She didn't say that's how growing a team worked. She said that she grew organically by talking to people and they were attracted to her.
Do you think that's an okay method of growing a team?
Of people being attracted to you?
Of organically,
I don't have an opinion of
team.
whether that's an okay or not okay method.
okay. But at the time, this method that she described didn't raise any concerns to you?
Well, first of all, the transcript has a ton of holes in it, so I can't refer back to it specifically, but from what it says here,
Do you want me to replay the video?
please, yeah.
Starting again at 13:16. Sorry, what was the question?
Did this sort of approach to recruiting concern you?
Yes.
No.
Generally speaking, who came up with the topics for Train the Trainers webinars?
It varied.
Did you ever come up with topics?
Sure.
What kinds of topics do you recall coming up with?
Time management, your why, the power stance.
What's the power stance?
Basically standing like Wonder Woman for 15 seconds and smiling so you can change your chemicals in your brain.
Fair enough. Any others?
Not ones that I came up with, no. Well, not that I can remember, but lots of trainings.
Oops. Sorry, I accidentally wrote on this one. Can you put the sticker over here? Okay.
Are you done with this one?
Yes, I am. I can put it aside. Marking for exhibit 85, LLR-WA 000 14126.
Are you done with the video as well?
Yes, I'm done for now. Yep.
Thank you.
So it appears from this email that you were emailing Ashley Lataha and Carrie
Greenland.
Giemond regarding a Train the Trainers call.
Yeah.
And below, there's a list of, it says 8-week topic cycle. And some of these topics correspond to ones that you just said that you came up with. Did you come up with all the topics on this list?
No.
Who else might have contributed?
The 4 of us in that team, including Art and Kenny. It's just collaborative. Well, this was 2016?
Yes. it appears.
Yeah, this wasn't me in 2016. So those topics that I mentioned, I'm time management, your why, and the power stance. I have my own personal spin-off because of my personal confidence of what those trainings are, but the actual topics have remained in LuLaRoe. I didn't come up with those actual trainings. So the lists that you have here, no. Especially in 2016, I was not developing the training on those 8 topics.
Do you know who in the company might have been responsible for developing Train the Trainers topics at the time?
Like I said, it depended on the week. It depended on who was giving the training and who was working with it.
Was there, you mentioned earlier that if this were in a later period that it might have been the leadership and culture development team. Was there another set of or group of individuals that were generally working on these types of things?
No, because sometimes it came to the table where a leader heard something from somewhere else and they had a training they had developed themselves that they wanted to train on, and we grasped onto it because it really helped people, or there's a book we're reading at home office or in the field, or yeah, I mean, there's a list. It's like a menu. From what I can see, I don't know why these all correspond for those 8 weeks, but yeah.
When you were planning the Train the Trainers calls, how did you generally select your speakers?
It's super procrastinated, last minute, who's available, especially in 2016.
What about in 2017? Was there more planning? Did you have more?
No, my habits haven't really changed. So a lot of times they request to change, request to train.
Oh, interesting.
Or they have been doing something in that realm of that training, and they're doing good in that sort of thing. And so whoever was facilitating or assigning that week would have reached out to them. In 2016, I honestly don't know who would have been reaching out to them. This email was not written by me, and so it came from my email, but this was clearly copy and pasted because there's no typos.
Fair enough. But anyone who, any IFR that would have spoken on the trainer's call would have done so at the request of someone at LuLaRoe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you ever feature non-IFRs on the Train the Trainers calls?
I don't know. I'm not able to recall that.
One second.
Can I have this afterwards?
I'm sorry?
Can I have this afterwards?
You'll get a copy of the transcript.
I guess I could
includes-
just look in my email, huh?
You'll get a copy of the transcript. and the exhibits.
And all the exhibits, right?
Thanks. You're done with this?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I just handed you Exhibit 86, LLR-WA 00008787. Did you receive this email while you were at LuLaRoe?
Yes.
And the attachment with the number 8788, is that the attachment that's referred to in the cover email?
I mean, we had this confusion earlier, but outside of, I would assume so, but I don't know.
Okay. Is there any reason to doubt that it wasn't this email?
No. I am concerned, however, with even referencing this document, considering that she said the internet flicked on and off.
So you're concerned about the completeness of this
Yeah,
particular
which
transcript?
makes me concerned that, did she even get this? Anyways, continue. Sorry.
So, I mean, you mentioned one of the reasons that LuLaRoe does closed captioning on these calls is to communicate with the hearing impaired. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, generally speaking, why were these copies of the closed captioning sent to LuLaRoe after the calls were done?
I said that earlier, because you take them and you upload them into the video, and then you publish them.
You publish them.
Through the front facing of the video.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So if you take this and you give the video to video team, I think YouTube does it automatically now, but I don't know what happened with this in the video, but they got married somehow, and that's what was posted.
Got it. But IFRs wouldn't necessarily have had access to the transcript in like this paper form?
They might have, but I can't tell you how, or if somebody would have specifically sent it to them, like if a deaf retailer had requested it. Like, there's no reason to deny them sending this to them.
Sure. And if a retailer who wasn't deaf but who had missed the call wanted a copy of it, would that be a legitimate reason to request a transcript from LuLaRoe?
I mean, we wouldn't discriminate, but I mean, typically, most people don't usually ask for these trainings. We just give a general response. The videos will be available soon with closed captioning attached. Please wait for further instruction.
Got it. And when it sounds like when you say the videos will be available soon with closed captioning, there's some sort of processing that has to happen before it's uploaded. Is that right?
I don't know what their processing is, but it took a couple hours to go from them to us.
Okay. And then LuLaRoe might, depending on the transcript, post that to a site that IFRs have access to?
I don't know what when it came to our desk. When I took it and gave it to whoever was on the video team at the time, and whatever they did with it then, from Kenny to Art and whoever else was involved in that. I wasn't involved in anything Fashion and Fun or wherever the videos were living back then. So my job was this. I got the email, I took it, and I handed it away. So that's the extent of my involvement of where this goes and who it was given to.
Got it. I've noticed that you've received, over your course of time at LuLaRoe, you've received a lot of transcripts.
A lot.
Were you on all the calls for those transcripts, or were you just a designated transcript recipient?
So early on, and you're probably catching this through our conversation, I just kind of do what I'm asked. Or I wear a bracelet that says I need it, see a need and fill it, right? So basically, if we had a deaf retailer approach us saying, I think we have this idea, can you help us? Yes, so what happened was I reached out to various vendors for closed captioning, and my name was just on the account, and it still is today. If you look at my emails right now, I'm still getting CC'd, even though Elizabeth Flage doesn't even work there anymore. Whoever the new person is, they know that I'm not even involved in it anymore. So I'm still receiving transcripts. But they just needed a contact name. And so that, if you're asking, am I involved in that now? No, I'm not.
Sorry, involved in what?
And why I'm receiving transcripts, I don't know why. It's just my name's on account.
Just the legacy of being the person.
Yeah, I was the initial contact.
And so I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Your role is that when you received a transcript, you would pass it on to Kenny or Art or someone on the video team to do what they're supposed to do with it?
Yes.
Okay. And that, did you ever review a transcript for accuracy before you passed it on?
Sadly, probably not. Yeah. I say sadly because my attention to detail is terrible, so no, I probably didn't.
Generally speaking, were there particular social media platforms that LuLaRoe encouraged IFRs to use? For example, Instagram, Twitter?
Not specifically.
Okay. Are you aware of LuLaRoe retailers using Instagram?
Yes.
Are you aware of them using Facebook?
Yes.
Vimeo?
I don't recall.
YouTube?
Yes.
Twitter?
Don't recall.
Facebook?
You asked me that. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Any other platforms that you recall IFRs using?
TikTok. Other than that, no.
Did you ever use Instagram for LuLaRoe?
No.
Do you have an Instagram account?
Not anymore.
Do you use other social media?
Only at work.
What other social media do you use at work?
Well, that's not true. Let me phrase that. Yes, I do use other social media. Facebook.
Do you use Facebook for business purposes?
Yes.
What is your handle on the Facebook account or accounts you use for business? You mentioned, we were talking about other social media accounts that you've used for business. Outside of Facebook, are there others?
No.
Okay. Did you ever have an account that was like LuLaRoe, first name, last name?
Yes.
Did you create that for business purposes?
I didn't create it. It was created for me, but yes.
Okay. Who created it for you?
I don't remember who.
It was someone at LuLaRoe.
Yeah, it could have been a number of people.
Did LuLaRoe have a social media team?
2016? No.
2017?
Yes.
2018?
I say 2016 no because I don't know. Again, I'm a floater, so I don't know people's names and positions. Most of the time, people don't have names and positions because it's a developing company, so it's going to be vague.
Got it. So your role was fluid.
Yes.
Sorry, going back to how that social media account was created for you, did you ever use that account?
Yeah.
What services was it, or sorry, what platform was it on?
When I was in customer service, that was a fun test to see if that was a new way to reach out to IFRs.
How did that test go?
I got the Facebook algorithm shut it down in a couple of weeks.
So it sounds like you didn't use that account for very long.
No.
Were you primarily using their messenger service?
No, I'm using it the same way I use this one, which is just interacting with retailers.
Creating groups?
No.
Huh. Why do you think they shut it down?
Because Facebook is a social media account. I don't know why they shut it down, but like, LuLaRoe is not a person.
Got it. Sorry, so when you were using, you're talking about like the test about whether using Facebook to communicate with retailers was a good way to communicate with them. Were you using the official LuLaRoe account, or were you using one that was under some version of your name?
Some version of my name.
Okay. But that one was shut down?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because they said you weren't a real person?
Basically. These chairs look comfortable to start, but... So these chairs are comfortable to start. They do.
Well,
Bad
if you need a
lumbar.
short break, let us know.
No, it's okay.
What did I do with that?
Is that for this one?
I'm done with that document, so you can put it to the side.
Thank you.
I have just handed you exhibit number 37 LLR-WA 000-32568. Did you receive this email while you were at LuLaRoe?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to doubt that the attachment to the email is the transcript referred to in the email?
No.
It appears from the first page that you actually spoke on this email. Is that right?
Yes.
Sorry, spoke in the call. Is that right?
Yes.
Turn to the page ending in 32577. The top of the page says, I believe in leading by example.
Who is on this call? Oh, I see it. Never mind.
Who was on this call?
It says Ashley Lataha and Carrie Guimond.
Is Carrie Guimond a mentor?
I don't know.
She's some sort of leader, likely.
I can't remember her specific rank. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The third paragraph down on that page, it says Carrie Guimond. I agree with that.
32576.
32577.
77. Excuse me. Okay.
2016, you were in a customer service role, right? Okay. Or you had some customer service duties?
Super vague. Again, like there was moments where I was asked to get on the phones when I was doing the LuLaRoe thing upstairs. I don't recall specifically when I was in the customer service role.
Do you recall any retailers receiving incomplete inventory orders?
Yes.
How often did that happen in 2016?
I don't recall the variance to how often that happened.
Did it happen more than once?
Yes.
Do you recall it happening enough that you thought it was a problem?
No.
So when they did happen, you saw them more as one-off incidents?
I didn't say that. It's how I view things. I didn't see that missing pieces immediate was a problem. Back orders is a normal thing in retail.
tell me more about, sorry, you just said back orders is a normal thing in retail, or is a normal thing in retail. Can you explain what you mean by that?
My wife just ordered a pair of shoes, and I just ordered a ring for her for Christmas, both of which sold out, and I can't get them till after Christmas now. And my experience in ordering things for myself, hot items sell out, I guess, and I don't know why there might have been whatever she's referring to here, but for me, like, it happens to me all the time when I'm shopping other places, so it seems pretty typical.
Okay. I'm done with that document. So I'm actually just going to hand you a series of documents, and I apologize if it's tedious. The questions I'm going to ask is, did you receive this email while you were at LuLaRoe? And then I'm also going to ask whether there's any reason to doubt that the attachment is with the email. And
Sure.
I apologize in advance. It's going to
No,
feel
I figured that out in
annoying.
the last two ones, so yeah, that's fine. It took me a minute to figure out what you were asking. But
You're quick.
Okay. Could you top me off? Bartender. Thank you. And thank you.
I just handed you... Sorry, why are you laughing?
She says, "Did you miss your calling and being in a boy band?" Sorry.
I just handed you Exhibit 88, LLRWA 000333324. Did you receive this email while you were at LuLaRoe?
Yes.
Is the transcript attached to the email, the attachment to the email?
Yes.
Are they all like this? Email to him with the transcript behind it?
Yes.
Same date, sequential base number?
Um,
Because I'll stipulate if that's the case. I mean, if they're all sequentially numbered, same date that corresponds to the cover email, Jordan's on it, it's all fine.
okay.
I mean, if we want to do them quickly, we can. I don't care. I mean,
Is there like a...
the criteria would be that they're sequentially Bates numbered, that the date for the attachment corresponds to the date on the transcript, and that Jordan is a recipient.
Great.
Okay.
I'm happy to stipulate to that.
Or
Works
we
for
have
me.
one exception because I separated them yesterday.
Oh, do you want to do that one now?
inadvertently. Yeah, let's handle that one, so it's on the record.
What
Can you-
exhibit was it, 40?
44 from yesterday.
What do you want me to do with this?
I'm about to hand a document. I am introducing as Exhibit 89 the cover email to Exhibit 44.
Are you done with 88?
Yes, I'm done with 88.
Okay. $44. Okay.
And if you look at 89 and 44, exhibits 89 and 44, you'll see that the date for exhibit 89 is June 18th, 2018. And then exhibit 44 is also June 18th, 2018. Do you see that?
Yes.
and that sequentially at the bottom, Exhibit 89 ends in 6741.
Yes.
Exhibit 44 ends in 6742.
Yes.
And I am representing to you that Exhibit 44 is the attachment to the email in Exhibit 89. Do you have any reason to doubt that this was a single document?
Considering all the hoopla to what just happened, I don't know. So you broke the pattern.
Okay,
so,
okay, let's try this again.
So no, no, I don't have a reason to doubt.
Okay.
However, I'm just going to refer to counsel and just say, sorry, that's your call.
No, understood. Do you want to make this, do you want to withdraw 44 and make it part of 89 so the record's easier? Well, I guess we already have testimony on 44.
It doesn't
so let's
matter.
just-
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
just
sorry.
say that.
That would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so did you receive this email, which is composed of the Bates range 6741 through 6764 while you were at LuLaRoe?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to doubt that the transcript is the document referred to in the email?
No.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to make it complicated. It's just, no, I don't.
I blame Joe.
June 18, 2018. Does it say who's speaking in this?
I don't believe that it did, but I wasn't planning to ask you any questions about it,
Okay.
so we can be done with it.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay.
Just to clarify on this email,
Sure.
again, June 2018, there's like 4 people CC'd on this, and 3 out of the 4 work at LuLaRoe, so it might not even been addressed to me. Just an FYI, this is a cart writer, so this could have been my email. What I'm saying is there's a really good chance I just put this in archive.
Got it. So you may not have even, you might have received it, but
I
you might
don't
not have looked
open
at it.
transcript emails at all over the past year and a half. So,
Oh.
yeah, because again, I'm just grandfathered in as the contact if they have any issues, and then I take those. Yeah, it's not, I don't do anything with these anymore.
So when you say you haven't looked at them, or sorry, opened the emails for attaching transcripts for over a year and a half, it means that you stopped looking them in the middle of 2018? Around?
When I was no longer part of leadership development or even part of these calls, which I don't know when that is, it is irrelevant to whatever I was assigned to, so I stopped opening them.
Do you know why you were asked to leave leadership development?
No.
Did anyone ever give you an explanation?
Yes.
What was the explanation?
They needed my help in marketing.
And that was it?
That was it.
Were you disappointed?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like talking to people, and now I sit at a cubicle.
That sucks. Sorry.
See a need and fill it.
Who gave you the message?
4 people.
4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Who were they?
Kenny, Ben, Justin, and Art.
But they never gave you any explanation.
No, well, I mean that's the explanation was we need your help in marketing.
Did that happen earlier this year?
I don't know specifically.
Did it happen after? Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Did it happen after Christmas or before Christmas?
After Christmas.
Okay. After New Year's?
I don't know when it happened.
Were you in the office between Christmas and New Year's?
I don't know. I might have, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. Did you celebrate New Year's this year?
Yes.
What did you do?
We went to... My wife and I stayed home and watched Vampire Diaries.
That sounds lovely.
Can we do a short break at some point here?
Sure, I'm at a good stopping point.
Off the record, the time is 2:51 p.m.
Maybe we could leave the door open for a minute. It's starting to click in here.